So I'm Nick Vidal, and on this video I want to share with you the 3 keys that are going to help you to heal. So when we're trying to heal, we're trying to create a transformation in our life. And the way to do that is by focusing on the 3 keys that I'm about to share with you. What are those 3 keys? There's actually 3 pieces to the puzzle. So many times, especially when it comes to our health, we want to focus down here. The physical. So what is that? That is our body. That is pretty much what we're eating. So this is the stuff that we're doing with our physical self. Is our body, what we're eating, what we're doing, maybe supplements we're taking. And this is purely physical. Many people get stuck trying to heal because they only focus on this one part of the triangle, and they forget that the other 2 are just as important. And if we don't focus on all 3 of these, we're not going to be able to get a complete transformation. So what are the other 2? We have our physical, our body, our diet, all that down here. But we have this one in here as well, our emotional self. This is how we handle stress, right? This is how we handle maybe negative emotions. This is relationships, right? These are all the things that are going on in our life. So not only do we have to try to heal the body physically with the correct food, the correct supplements, but we also have to heal the emotional self as well. How do we handle stress? Do we have coping mechanisms for when we do feel stressed? Do we have a way to reduce that? Do we have a way to cope with stress? Do we have a way to balance negative emotions? So whenever we're not feeling so good, or we're groggy, or we're down in the dumps, or we're feeling a little depressed or upset, do we have a specific strategy that we can use to actually bring us out of that slump? And how do we handle our relationships? How are the relationships in our life right now? How are our relationships with our family members, with our friends? Are they healthy, vibrant relationships in which each person is giving back and forth to each other? Or is this more of a take relationship? Or maybe you're the type of person that's giving too much and not getting anything in return? So we have to look at that too and identify how your emotional self is. And most important, at the top of this pyramid, the top of this triangle, is our mental self. What is our mental self? Our mental self clearly is the stories that we tell ourselves. This is our identity, who we are, how we show up in the world. Are we someone that shows up that identifies through illness? Are we someone that shows up and we identify that way because maybe we feel it brings us attention? Do we identify that way because maybe we want people to pity us on our struggle or on our journey? How are we identifying? Do we identify a positive way? Do we identify as someone that is in control and responsible of their health without putting that responsibility in the hands of someone else, even if that someone else is a doctor? Are you someone that's taking full responsibility for your actions, your health, your thoughts, the way you handle and perceive stress, how you're handling emotions? Because those are going to determine the food. Are you able to eat the proper foods that are going to nourish you? Are you able to take the proper supplements and herbs and things that are going to nourish you, as opposed to pull from you, or as opposed to hold you back? So this is the key to healing. And this is very, very important. This was important for me. It's still important for me because this method can be applied to any transformation that we're going through, whether it be health or whether it be something else. We have to look at all 3 of these things. Each one of these gets a little deeper, but on the base of it, on the face of it, is our physical self, so our body and what's happening in our environment and the food that we're eating, the exercise that we're doing. Then our stress, how do we handle stress? How do we handle our emotions? Do we get too wrapped up in emotions? Do we get too wrapped up in other people's emotions? Because that could affect us as well. How do we handle our relationships? And ultimately, what's going to determine these two is how we see ourselves and how we identify. So, do we identify as someone that's able to be completely balanced? What is a healthy person to us? How do we identify? What does that even mean to us? To me, healthy means being balanced in all of these areas. Healthy means being strong, being vibrant. Healthy means taking care and making the right choices of the foods and things that are going into my body, the exercise that I'm doing. Healthy also encompasses a person that's able to handle and adapt to stressful situations, because stress is always going to crop up. It's how we handle it is most important. Are we balanced out with our emotions? Are we thinking mostly positive thoughts and positive emotions most of the time? Or do we catch ourselves thinking negative emotions? This can be why you feel bad. If you're thinking too negatively and you're wrapped up in too many negative emotions, of course you're not going to feel so great. And of course, most important, the stories and the identity. How do you identify yourself? How do you want to be perceived in the world? How do you want to show up in the world? What do all these other things mean to you? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? We need this entire pyramid to be complete in order to completely heal. So I invite you to give this some consideration if you are currently on a healing journey, especially if it's taking you a long time. This can be the very reason that is holding you back. We have to look at all three of those pieces of the pyramid. So if you found this video helpful, share it out, hit the like button, and subscribe to this channel, because I'll be posting many more videos about healing, about motivation, about how to maintain your emotional state, about how to reduce stress in your life, and of course, the strategies for a healthy gut, a healthy digestive system, a healthy immune system, some tips, some hints, everything that's going to help you on your health journey. So I'm Nick Vidal. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the very next video.